What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Too Pop to Handle. I'm your host, Andrew Nucatola, and I hope you are all having a fabulous week as always. So far, the week it's been pretty tame compared to the weekend. If you know, you know, there was a lot going on, but my weekend was very fun. Saturday, we went and we went out to Long Island. We went to my old house that I used to live in, so my roommates still live there. We did a little Friendsgiving. I know it's January, it's late. We're all busy. There's a group of like 8 of us. There was a lot of us to get together. So January was the weekend that worked, so we did that Saturday and we rented a car and drove out to Long Island. And I just need to say, there is something I do not miss driving at all. I hated driving when I had to drive when I lived on Long Island. I don't miss it. But I do miss listening to music in the car when we'll rent a car pretty often, like when we go out to Long Island to visit our friends or whatever. So whenever we get in the car, I'm like, all right, let's make a queue. And I'm just adding all the music that's come out since the last time we rented a car so we can like listen to these albums in the car because it is a different experience. Obviously, you like a song whether you like it or you don't. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna sway if you like a song hearing it in a car, but it is such a different experience. Like listening to Yes and in the car. We listened to Not My Fault. We listened to some of Troy's album. Like there was just so Renee Rapp's album. There were so many albums and songs that had come out since the last time we rented a car. And I was like, what can I do? Like, what can I listen to right now in the car to really take advantage of this road trip? And it did not disappoint. It is just such a I feel like the girls that get it, they get it. There's something special about listening to music in the car. And yeah, it was a fun little ride out. We did our Friendsgiving. It was super cute. Came back Saturday night, and then Sunday we just kind of like got our lives together. We went to the gym. Oh, something actually, speaking of the gym. So I'm back in my running era, which it never really ended. I just kind of like wasn't doing it as often, but last January I started going to the gym more consistently. I go through phases with the gym and I like sometimes I'm like really on it, sometimes I'm really not. Sometimes I prefer a workout class. So I've been back kind of getting in the flow of the gym, but last year I started running, which I was never a runner. I hated running. I was like, nope, not for me, but I started doing it last January, only on the treadmill. I'm like the unpopular person who doesn't like running outside. I haven't really done it much, but I prefer a treadmill for now, and that's where I'm comfortable. So that aside, I've been running again. I've been trying to just like hit a certain goal every month and, just adding it back into my workout routine because I really like the way that it makes me feel. And I like kicking my workout off with, oh my God, that's a tongue twister. I like kicking my workout off with a run. Boom, there. So I've been running before my workouts and I've been trying to find new music to listen to, but I'm always like, oh, what can I listen to? Like, what's new? What can I add? And then I was like, why don't I just go revisit some of my old playlists? Because I have so many playlists from like 2017, 18, even like back even before that. But I was like going through and just trying to find things. And I have like playlists from when I've thrown birthday parties. So like my 25th birthday party, 24th, 26th. Like I have like all of these playlists of the essentially when I DJ'd my own birthday party. And by DJ, I mean it plugged into an aux cord. So I was like, oh, let me play this. So I put on my 2019 birthday playlist, which 2019 I turned 24, I believe. Yeah, 24. Is that true? I think that's true. We're going to go with it. Yeah, because I turned 25 in 2020, so 24. So I was listening to it and I was like having such an appreciation. I was like, we had some sick music in 2019. And then I went and I listened to some other playlists and I was like, this is crazy. There was such like a nostalgia factor of listening to an old playlist and like even though there's songs that obviously like I still love today and listen to and whatever, but just hearing like some of the songs that I was like loving, like even like hearing like throwbacks that I added to the playlist that obviously are still throwbacks now, but like that I just don't think of anymore. But like listening to some of them, I was like, oh my God, like I went through a No Doubt phase in 2019 where and just Gwen Stefani in general. So like on my 2019 birthday playlist, there was a few No Doubt songs. I had Fergie on it. Like I had so many songs that I remember having these phases with and hearing, like listening to the playlist now and thinking like, oh my God, where was I when I made this playlist? And why did I add that song? Why did I add this song? Just like very fun and cool. And I'm going to challenge you all this week to go back and listen to at least one playlist that you made, whether it was last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know. Listen to a playlist that you made a time that is not now and a time that like maybe you were living somewhere different. Maybe you were dating somebody different. Maybe you were in college and now you're out working at a job that you hated or something. I don't know. Listen to a playlist that you made X amount of time ago and just like put yourself in that position and think about where you are now. Because when I was on the treadmill listening to this playlist, I was like, whoa. Like it's a cool way to kind of like maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I tie too much to music, but like that's my homework for the weekend for you guys, or the week rather. Put on an old playlist, go for a walk, go for a run while you're working, while you're driving, whatever it may be, whatever you feel most comfortable. Like whenever you're listening to music in your like happy place, put on an old playlist, sit in your thoughts, think about it, and like shoot me a DM. Shoot if you're one of my friends, shoot me a text, comment, whatever. There's so many ways to get in touch with me on the internet. Like just let me know like what you were thinking, what you were feeling. If there was like a certain song or like two or three songs that really like punched you in the gut, let me know because it was fun to like listen to these songs. Like I was living on Long Island when I made most of these playlists. I was like I hadn't even met Thomas yet. I was in like so many different dating periods of my life at that point. So listening to them now, I'm like, well, damn, I kind of like it gives you like a pat in the back. And there were some moments where I was like, damn, like could have done better there, could have done better here. And it was just like a fun, I don't know, it was a fun experience to like, especially running because like I couldn't go anywhere. I was on the treadmill. I was like running. So you're alone with your thoughts. I'm listening to this music and I was like, damn, what was I going through in 2019? Like it was just, I don't know, it was a fun experience. So sprinkling that in. But yeah, so like I said, Sunday we just kind of like we worked out, went to the gym, grocery shop, cleaned a little bit, nothing crazy. And now it is Tuesday and we are here. And my God, do I have a lot to talk about. So the if you follow me anywhere, you know the main topic on my lips is Nicki and Megan, and we are getting into that. We are getting full into all of the drama, and we will break it down. And we have some releases I want to talk about. We have other things we want to talk about. Taylor Swift is going to the Super Bowl. Just so much, but there were a few things that came up yesterday and today that I didn't really know how they fit into the show because I don't really need to go into too far of detail because there's not much detail with it yet. So I figured I would just kind of like do a quick little speed round of topics or just like things that are happening. And there are things that I'm definitely going to talk about more in depth eventually, but they're just like not into full fruition yet for me to be like, let me do a whole 5-10 minute segment on it. So first and foremost, yesterday, Monday, we found out that SZA will be performing at the Grammys. I mean, you guys know how I feel about SZA. I was already excited for the Grammys. We have Dua, Billie, Olivia, SZA, Miley is still rumored, Beyonce is still rumored. Like we have a lot of fun performances coming up, so very excited for that. The Grammys are this Sunday, so if you are, if you forgot they're coming up, make sure you clear your calendar for Sunday because it's going to be a fun night. I am very excited. Next week's episode will definitely be a full Grammys recap. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. It's my first Grammys recap actually, so that'll be cool. So we'll see like how I go about, that. Maybe I'll just do all performances and I'm like talking to you. You guys don't need to know this. This is fine. I'll figure it out. That's my job. As a producer of this show, I'll figure out how we're going to talk about that next week. But the Grammys are this weekend. Very excited. Taylor Swift will be attending. Travis will not be. We'll get more into that later. But yeah, so SZA's at the Grammys. And then as of today, we literally found out that Girl in Red is releasing an album in April, which is so exciting. The single comes out next Friday. So we'll talk about it more next week for Drew releases. Britney Spears is releasing a project at some capacity at some time in the future. It's called Sex and Diamonds. Was not expecting anything from Britney for a while, so I'm definitely a little shocked, but I'll take it. She's reclaiming her womanhood and doing her thing, so I am into it. And there is more about Britney later in the show, so put a pin in it for now, but we will talk about it more later. SZA said that she's releasing or working on a project with Paramore. It was very like in passing. She said it in like an Apple Music Q&A. She said that it's in the work, so who knows if that's true. We still haven't gotten Lana, so we all know SZA likes to lie a little bit, and I say that with love. It's a character flaw, but we love her anyway. But allegedly, Paramore and SZA are working on something together. We also found out that Dua Lipa is releasing a single in 2 weeks. It's on February 12th, I believe the date is. Training season, so the snippet sounds amazing. I cannot wait, and we will talk again more about that when it's the week of the release. But just so much happening. I was like, Jesus Christ! I'm like, I'm in overdrive, and I already had when all this stuff was coming out. I already had so much to talk about. So I was like, my God, this is going to be another long one. And then the final thing that kind of came out today was that Adele is releasing something today. So the day you're listening to it, she posted a little reel teaser with a bunch of photos of herself. And in between, she was a sneaky, sneaky little gal. She put the date January 31st, 2024. So something is coming out. I'm assuming it'll probably be out by the time you're listening to this or at least some point today. So Who knows? I don't think it's gonna be an album. I think it's gonna be either a like a concert movie of her Vegas special, or maybe she's gonna take it like overseas. I could see her doing like Weekend with Adele at the O2 or something, or like somewhere in London, whatever the equivalent to Vegas there is. Like I could see her bringing it home and doing that. So excited to see what she does. We love Adele in this house, so very excited there. But yeah, like I said, those are just the bubbling under like little topics I didn't even know how to start with. And now we're gonna hop into the actual show and get this show on the road because my God. My God. So, first things first, you guys know the drill. Drew releases. We had a lot of releases last week. And I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't really with them as much as I would have wanted to because of everything else that was ensuing over the weekend. There was a lot going on. So I didn't marinate, listen to these songs as much as I would like to, but I will say I didn't dislike any of them. So we had Ice Spice, Megan Thee Stallion, Hiss, Casey Musgraves released her cover of Three Little Birds. Kate Hudson released her single today. We had Fly on a Bus. So much music. So much music. I was so overwhelmed, but all good. I liked all of it. I need to sit with them again a little bit longer. But Ice Spice, I mean, it was a song literally about farts, but it was funny. It's Ice Spice is so good at putting like silly, funny lyrics on a fun beat and just making it fun. So into it. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be a groundbreaking song, but it was fun. Ice Spice always delivers, so I was very excited there. Megan Thee Stallion, Hiss, girl. I mean, song alone. Let's just talk about the song for now, and we will go more into context later because you guys know that there's a lot to talk about. The song itself, I absolutely love. The fact that it starts out and she just like on the mic talking shit, telling everyone like if you don't like what you're gonna hear, whatever. Like yeah, she talks her shit at the beginning. She does it, and I was so into it. Love me some Megan. Love her even more since over the weekend, and I have a lot more about Megan Thee Stallion later, so I will save that for later because my God. Casey Musgrave, Three Little Birds, nothing new, just a new rendition of this Bob Marley song. I love Casey's voice. She is just her. I could listen to her sing the phone book and I would love it. She just such like a soothing and relaxing voice. And I loved the rendition. I don't think it's gonna be anything that's really in my rotation. Like I'll listen to it if it comes on shuffle, but not gonna be a song that I'm like pushing on down everyone's throat. But I'll take New Casey whenever we can get it. Actually, she just hosted like a small private event or something in New York, and she invited a bunch of fans, and it was like 4 or 5 songs she played for them from the new album, which just leads me to think that the album's coming sooner than we think, which is exciting. So New Casey music on the horizon. Obviously, I mean, Golden Hour, everything Casey does is always something to listen to and to look out for. So I'm very excited for a new Casey album there. Fly on a Bus, Candyman, loved it, so much fun. Like I said, they just release fun, good music. I love their vibe. I love their energy. They're always putting out just like these fun. They are good music to listen to on the treadmill, I will say. Not just because they're always running around and that's like their thing, but they honestly just is like hype up music. Like I put it on and I'm like, all right, let's go. So loving Fly on a Bus. Kate Hudson single came out today. I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun, but it wasn't like didn't change my life, but I didn't expect it to. It was just music, which I'm very content with. So, like I said, I apologize. I did not marinate in these songs as much as I usually would with new releases. There was a lot that came out, a lot that happened, lots going on at work. So, luckily, there is, for the first time ever, I'll say, luckily, there's no new music this Friday that I can think of. So, I have a little extra time to kind of sit with them and I can just, put them in rotation, hear them a little bit more, and kind of get more familiar with them. But no new music this week. We do have some releases the week after. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, that's where we're at with Drew releases. Obviously, we are not done with Megan, but that will come into play a little bit later. So those are our Drew releases from last week. If you are interested in listening to any of them, you can always find them in my link in bio. I have my Drew releases playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. So all the songs I talk about are in there. You can go ahead and find them. You don't have to search around. I do the work for you. So yeah, fun little thing. And without further ado, I think the time has come. We just hop into these stories. First things first, Taylor Swift is going to the Super Bowl. And I cannot freaking wait. Mainly because I can't wait to see how angry all of these straight men get when they show her on the camera. Did you guys see the video of that Ravens fan who went to Target with the 1989 Taylor's version vinyl, smashed the vinyl, and then like tried to act like he was like anti-Taylor? The vinyl was black. Now, if you don't collect vinyl, you might not know this. There was no black pressing of 1989 Taylor's version. So whatever record he smashed that he took out of the 1989 Taylor's version vinyl was not a Taylor vinyl. He just did it for show. Obviously, it's the internet. Everybody does things for show. But I was like, can you at least like try? Like if he would have had like the old 1989 and a black one, it would have been like, all right, maybe, sure, whatever. It was just so obviously not a 1989 Taylor's version vinyl. Fucking idiot. So stupid. Then he went on like Instagram Live or TikTok Live rather. Whenever Taylor would come on the screen during the game, he would show a picture of her he printed out and like rip it, scream, crumple it up. Like he was having literally this grown man was having such a bitch fit over them showing Taylor Swift on the screen, and I loved it. It made me so happy, and I cannot wait for Taylor Swift to ruin the Super Bowl for all of these fragile men who need to watch their men throw the ball around the field and do their thing and touchdown. I can't wait for Taylor Swift to ruin it for them, but Taylor Swift is indeed attending the Super Bowl. I'm putting it out there. She can make it from her show in Tokyo. So exciting. And I mean, the real story from the weekend was the fact that she was down in the field with Travis. It was so cute. She was decked out in Chiefs like jewelry, which I thought was cute. She had that bracelet and it said TNT, which I would assume is Taylor and Travis, but I would also assume she would have an A. So Taylor and, not N, Travis. But then it would say Tat. So I was like, I'm assuming it just means Taylor and Travis, but who knows? But super cute. She had like a ring that was a Chiefs jersey. Just like I love I just love them together so much. I know people are tired of them. People are is overexposed, this and that. What I'll say there is the NFL is the one showing Taylor Swift on this TV. Taylor's not doing it. Travis isn't doing it. No one else is doing it but the NFL. They had the most viewed football game, non-Super Bowl football game ever 2 weekends ago when Taylor was there because Taylor Swift fans were watching. Why would the NFL not show Taylor Swift every chance that they can? Like, come on. Like, people are like, oh my God, they're showing Taylor Swift too much. Yeah. Well, maybe if people watch the game without Taylor Swift being there, they wouldn't have to show her every 5, 10 minutes. I like, come on. This argument that has been going on with like NFL and Taylor Swift fans for the whole season. I can't wait for it to end. I'm sad we're not going to see Taylor and Travis at the games every weekend anymore after next weekend, but I think it'll be good for the men to kind of take a breather and maybe, touch some grass or go outside and see their families again before next season starts. But that being said, the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. It's the Chiefs and the 49ers. Usher is the halftime performer, so that's very exciting. He's going to put on a great show. But that's next Sunday. So 2 big weekends. We got Grammys one weekend. It's like for the girls and then for the guys, the Super Bowl the weekend after. So very exciting. And like I did say earlier, I don't believe Travis will be at the Grammys this weekend because he's training for the Super Bowl. Pop Base just posted that he won't be there. So I don't know what their sources are, but I'm not shocked if he's not there. Does kind of suck. Like it's kind of like they can't let him out for one night. Like he just he already got to the Super Bowl. How much more rehearsal? Football players don't rehearse. Practice. How much more practice does he need? But like I guess I'm not the NFL, I'm not his coach, so I can't like tell him what to do. But like, could you imagine a Taylor and Travis moment on the red carpet? At the Grammys when she's nominated for Album of the Year? It would have been so cute. But I understand he's got to rehearse. He's got to. I keep saying rehearse. Oh my God, I'm so gay. He has to practice for the Super Bowl. I guess it is kind of like a rehearsal when you think about it. The same thing. It's just like, different font. I can't. Anyway, Taylor Swift will be at the Super Bowl. If she leaves her show from Tokyo, she'll get there at like 5 o'clock the night before. So she'll have plenty of time to get there. I have no doubts that she will make it. I mean, come on, she has to be there for her man, right? Like, she can't not be there. So, very excited to get one more Taylor moment at the game. Very excited to have the Grammys this weekend to see Taylor there. So, big weekend for Taylor and Travis coming up. So, very, very excited for them. And, I don't really know how to. I try to always make the show as seamless as possible. I try to make it, the stories make sense. I rearrange things, I move topics and, music releases, this and that. So they all kind of go into each other. But there is no way for me to link the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce excitement of the weekend with the Nicki Minaj and Megan the Stallion debacle of the weekend. So we're just gonna completely shift lanes and leave Taylor and Travis on one side, and we're just gonna full force go into Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion this weekend. Now, before we get into it, you guys know I still do, still don't. I'm in a weird spot with Nicki right now. I've been a Barb for years. Since before Pink Friday, mixtape days. I've said this story before, how I found out about her. Like, I love Nicki Minaj. I do. But I am so disappointed at what went down this weekend on the internet. I am so, like, yeah. By the way, before we get into it, Nicki Minaj is 41 years old. Megan Thee Stallion is 28 because I saw that there was a Google spike in how old is Nicki Minaj over the weekend, and she is in fact a grown woman, 41 years old, acting the way that she did. So let's rewind a bit. Let's go back to just for some back, logs for anyone. Obviously, back 2019, yeah, it was 2019, I'm pretty sure. Hot Girl Summer comes out, Megan Thee Stallion. It's big, it's getting traction, people are loving it. And then it's announced that she's dropping a remix with Nicki Minaj, which is a huge deal. Now, put yourself in this time period. Nicki and Cardi are feuding nonstop at this point. Cardi released her album in 2017, 2017 or 2018, I don't know, is prior to this. So we know that Nicki is not really into like new rap girls coming on the scene. She's gonna start beef with them because that's not her thing. So for Nicki to collab with a new rap girl in the upcoming scene, it was a big deal. It was like, whoa, okay, she must mean business. They put out Hot Girl Summer. Nicki, I mean, it was everywhere. It blew up. And there is no denying that that song skyrocketed Megan's career into more mainstream and got so many more eyes on her because if a smaller artist collabs with a bigger one, this was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like no brainer. And no one's denying that. No one ever is like there's never been an argument of like, oh, Megan wouldn't be as big as she is or like gotten as big as she is as fast without that. I think we can all agree there, and that's coming from a fan of both of them. So that happened. Now, 2020, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion released WAP. We all know it. Most of us love it. Broke records, was like the biggest song in the world, like skyrocket. You guys remember, like it went crazy viral, beyond, like it was nuts. Now, I don't think anything necessarily happened at this moment with Nicki and Megan, but obviously Nicki was not happy that she collabed with Cardi. And I believe that's where all of this beef starts. So this is like a few years going. So like years go on, they do their thing. They don't talk, they don't collab anymore, like they do whatever. Fast forward to this year. So Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion release Bongos in like August, I want to say, July, August. They release the song, do their thing, whatever. Nicki Minaj is announced as the host of the VMAs last year rather. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are announced as performers at the VMAs. So I immediately was like, oh, bitch. Like, what is going to go down? Because we know about Nicki and Cardi at the Met Gala. We know Nicki is unhinged. We know Cardi is unhinged. I don't think Megan would get crazy with anyone. I don't think that's in her. I mean, we'll get there, but like, I mean, there was literally a shoe thrown at the Met Gala. Like, and there's videos of like Cardi cornering Megan. I mean, Cardi cornering Nicki at the Met Gala. Like, it just like very, very crazy behavior. So immediately at the VMAs, I was there. I was like, what's gonna happen if Nicki, Cardi, and Megan all cross paths? Like, and when I tell you, this is like an observation I noticed after the fact. Nicki was on one side of the arena and Nick and Cardi and Megan were on the other side. I barely saw Nicki where I was seated. Like I could see her from the stage, but like she didn't like where I was seated right where everybody walked. So I could see everybody going to their seats, everybody walking back and forth. And I did not see Nicki come that way once because I think they were genuinely strategically making sure these parties did not cross because who knows what would have happened. Cardi was there with like 8 security guards. It was like very overdramatic, but it is what it is. I understand. So that happens. Nothing happens. Like they don't run into each other. There's no drama. This, that, whatever. Fast forward. Pink Friday 2 comes out. Nicki has a line that says, "Stay in your Tory lanes, bitch. I am not Iggy." Now, if you don't know, Megan Thee Stallion was best friends with Tory Lanez, who was a rapper, and was shot in the foot by him. She had to go to court, like this whole thing. People were saying she was lying. He's literally in jail right now because of it. People still are like, she lied, this, that. Such bullshit. Fuck Tory Lanez. Like, just like Renee Rapp said, fuck that man. And if anyone has anything to say about Megan Thee Stallion, come to me. Because like what we're not gonna do is call Megan Thee Stallion a liar or anything of that nature. So Nicki puts out this line saying stay in your Tory lanes, obviously talking about Megan Thee Stallion. Now this is when Pink Friday comes out. So that was October, November. Did Pink Friday or maybe Pink Friday came out in December? I don't know. I don't know. Time is fake. But so Pink Friday 2 comes out. Megan doesn't say anything. Now, this past weekend, Megan releases her single Hiss. Mind you, Megan released Cobra a few weeks ago and doesn't mention Nicki in it. Like it's very nothing. Megan releases Hiss on Friday. Now, a few hours before the song comes out, some lyrics started to leak, and the lyric said, "These hoes don't be mad at Megan, these hoes are mad at Megan's Law." If you don't know what Megan's Law is the law that requires sex offenders to be public information so that you can look on a record and find out who in your area is a sex offender. Now, no names were mentioned. No, she didn't say a name. She didn't point it at anyone. She just said, could have been to anyone. But we do know that Nicki Minaj's husband and her brother are both registered sex offenders. So, as soon as this lyric leaked, Nicki Minaj goes on Instagram Live and is freaking. She's like, I have this diss track ready, 3 Grammys, you can't stay on a beat, which first isn't true. Like, Megan is very much fine. And not that Grammys mean anything. You guys know how I feel about the Grammys, but Nicki, you've been nominated for 12 and don't have one. You're also banned from performing at the Grammys. So, why do you know how many Grammys Megan Thee Stallion has off the top of your head? And why are you bringing them up? Interesting. So that happened. So she said she goes on live, she does her thing, and she just starts tweeting. This 41-year-old woman just starts going on a rampage saying, like, oh, she fucked her best friend's man, which still don't know if that's true or not. We're not getting into it. I can't confirm nor deny. She said she brought up her mom. If you don't know, Megan Thee Stallion has lost both of her parents, and she brought up how she brought her mom into it, which just like you don't bring somebody's parent into it, dead or alive. And the fact that she was like throwing her mom at her, not cool. Like that was where I was like, whoa. No, we're drawing the line. At first I was like, all right, let me like see what's going on. As soon as she mentioned Megan's mom, I was like, nope, you just crossed the line with me. I am not, no, can't do it. I unfollowed Nicki this weekend, which is big for me because I've been following her consistently since whenever she made a Twitter. 2009, 2010, whenever it was, I unfollowed because I was like, I can't. This is too much. It was all weekend non-stop. So Nicki posts that. Nicki starts saying she's releasing a single. Nicki goes into her AI. Like, Nicki Minaj has to have the most, like, insane ChatGPT Bing AI plan ever because she uses AI for everything. For her album rollout, for her single covers, for her tour promo, like for everything. This girl loves AI. And I'm like, do you not have a team behind you of graphic designers who can make something for you? Very weird. That being said, she announces that on Saturday, that she will be putting out a diss track called Bigfoot on Sunday. Bigfoot alluding to the fact that Megan was shot in the foot. She keeps saying, like, get up on your good foot because she was shot in the foot. She's also coming now for her looks, her size, her, which Megan is 5'10" and wears I think like a women's size like 8 shoe, like a very normal size foot. So I don't know what Nikki's issue is. Then she starts saying that Megan was trying to force her to drink while she was pregnant and saying, go to the clinic, you don't have the baby, get a drink, which was all debunked. There's videos of it, like she said it, but after the fact, it was like they were joking around on Instagram Live. Like the way that she was trying to spin this as like an evil narrative. Now, mind you, her baby is 3 years old and is coming out now 4 years later. Like it was just so evident that she was just Nicki was grasping at any straws that she could to like throw at Megan. It's just like, mind you, Megan didn't mention a single name. Megan never said Nicki's name. Nicki did say Tory Lanez, which is pretty obvious who that's about. So then it comes out Bigfoot. When I say this is probably the worst song I've ever heard in my life, like, it's not even like funny, it's not like comical, like, there's not even like a ha ha factor. It's just like not good. At the end, she is literally reading her tweets into a microphone with no beat behind her. Girl, like, come on, come on. And like, I thought like Stupid Hoe was a good diss track. I thought No Frauds was a good diss track. This is trash. This is so bad. And it is. Uh, I don't even know how to go about it because the fact that even like there's still people behind her supporting this song and like streaming it and buying it and like coming for Megan still and like all of this shit. And I'm like, this is a 41-year-old woman being a literal mean girl online to Megan the Stallion. Did Megan put a line in there that could apply to Nicki? Sure. Sure. Yeah. But Megan has been so fucking iconic. She hasn't responded. She hasn't posted anything. The one thing she posted was after Nikki's Instagram live on Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. She posted a picture of herself laughing on her Instagram story. And I'm pretty sure it was an old picture from like an old live. So it wasn't even like she took a new photo laughing. She just like reacted to herself with a picture of herself to Nicki saying she's going to release a diss track. Megan is doing the absolute most iconic thing and not responding at all, and I'm obsessed with it. And I hope it's just fueling Nicki more. She apparently has 4 more diss tracks to release, which I'm just like, don't you have a child? Like, I guarantee you she has not seen her son in 4 days. Well, now it's God, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 6 days. Like, we're almost going on a week. Like, she has not seen her son in days because this bitch has been sitting at her computer typing away, recording diss tracks, and just like being so evil spirited and rotted and just like, I don't know. I think I need like I think like I'm turning. My friend Joe tweeted me. He's like, I'm turning in my pink wig. I was like, I think same. Like I'm fully team Megan on this situation. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. But in the long run, like I have been a fan of Nicki for so long that I'm like, it's like weird to be like, oh, I'm done. Like turning it, but like again, it doesn't really matter. It's literally a musical artist. I know it sounds so ridiculous to be like, oh my God, I can't. I don't want. How do I not listen to? I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's why we're doing it. This podcast is my way to talk about these things and to talk about pop culture and whatever. So I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Like if Nikki comes on in a club, I'm gonna sing along. I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna bop, but I think I need to like reel back in the fact of like supporting her so actively and like probably not gonna go to the tour. Oh my God, the tour is a whole nother thing. The tour starts next month in or maybe in March. It starts in like a month and change. There's her dancers have not even started rehearsing because apparently they haven't gotten a legal contract to say like, oh, they'll be paid this much. They're supposed to be on tour for these many days. And like Nikki has a long history of like not being prepared for shows, messing things up. Her track is always wrong, her dancing is always off. Like I've seen her a few times and the one time she came on an hour late, walked on stage, did one song, she couldn't get on the beat. You want to talk about people not being able to find the beat? Most of the time when Nicki Minaj is live, she can't find the beat. And it's just facts. There's so many videos of it. She couldn't find the beat. It wasn't like matching. She was like, I'm done, and walked off stage. And she was literally gone for like 15 minutes, and everybody thought she was done after one song. Like there is just like such a track record of her not performing to the level she is the biggest female rapper really maybe of all time, and like there is no reason for her to have performances like she does. It's embarrassing, and even as a fan I would say it's embarrassing. It's just like always a mess. Now these dancers allegedly haven't gotten a contract and can't they're not going to go rehearse, which good for them for standing up for themselves for being like, no, I'm not rehearsing without a contract, because like that could say they're how much they're getting paid, when they're expected to work, like what they're expected to do. Like obviously no contract, absolutely do not step foot in a rehearsal studio. So I just it's not looking good. It is not looking good in Gag City. I will tell you that right now. She also now Megan Thee Stallion is now a independent artist. I think it's literally called like Hot Girl Productions is her independent label, I guess, that she puts her music out on, which we love. Good for you, Queen. Do your thing. Her management, however, is Rock Nation, which is Jay-Z's management company. Now, management and a label are two different things. You would think that Nicki Minaj would know that. But Rock Nation posted about Hiss and paid promoted tweets for it, which any label would, now I'm saying it, any management would do with promoting the song because it's their artist, not her label. It's not her record label. They didn't put out the song. They're her management. And Nicki's like, oh, you want to say you're an independent artist, but you have Rock Nation paying for tweets. Can you just think before you tweet, Nicki? My God. It is just so insanely immature and gross and just girl, you've got to be more serious. You are literally Nicki Minaj. And it's sad because as somebody who had watched her career from the beginning, she really was one of a kind back then. She was the only female rapper. She was experimenting with sounds like this. Like she was, playing with the pop sound. She was giving us rap, like true rap, but with these crazy outfits. She was had this persona, and she really could have been on top of the game even more than she was, but she's consistently just torn other people down. And I always was well, whatever, it's Nicki, whatever, it's Nicki, whatever, it's Nicki. Like, well, something's got to give. My God. Now, don't get me wrong. When I hear Bottoms Up come on in a club, I'm gonna sing along. If I hear Itty Bitty Piggy come on in a club, I'm gonna sing along. If it comes on shuffles, I'm probably not gonna skip it. I just think, I'm reeling back a little bit from Miss Nikki, and I think a lot of people are kind of shifting their viewpoint, and they're just what I mean, it's just it's really getting insane, especially the way her fans are reacting. They're doxing creators, releasing their info. They released, they found out where Megan's mom was buried. Literally, they found out the cemetery where Megan Thee Stallion's mother was buried. And now the cemetery is on high alert security because of this. Can't, come on. Yeah, come on. At what point? This isn't funny. This is literally past bullying. This is harassment, and you guys need to seek help. I'm so I don't know how else to spin it. I don't know what else to say, but seriously, get it together. I'm sure I'll have more to say next week. I'm sure there'll be more updates as the week goes on because, it's only Tuesday. There's so much more week ahead of us, and Nicki Minaj does not seem to be slowing down. But on a positive note, Megan was on GMA this morning and announced she will be releasing an album and touring this summer. So I think I'll be saving my coins for the Pink Friday 2 tour for the Hot Girl Summer Tour. And that is my take on Nicki and Megan. Team Megan Thee Stallion, I will support that bitch to the day I die. Megan Thee Stallion, they can never make me hate you. And yeah, that's that on that. God, it was crazy. It really, I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening in the House of Commons this week in Nicki Minaj's brain? In other news, Drag Race was great this week. Well, not great. There was, some ups and downs, but moving on. uh, Drag Race recap. I feel like that story, transitioning into it and transitioning out of it, I don't know how to without just being okay, skirt, we're switching lanes. I guess I'm switching my Tory lanes, as Nikki said. But anyway, Drag Race. So as you guys know, Drag Race was on this Friday, and it was a live SNL RDR live challenge, which was fun. It was a fun little idea. It was pretty much their take on SNL. So before they even start getting the roles of the parts, they are obviously talking about who wants what. There's always the girls who are I'm taking this role. I don't care what you say. Plain Jane. And then there's always there's been auditions, there's been arguments, there's been fights over who wants what role. And it's just an ongoing thing in Drag Race. We're never not going to see it because there's always going to be girls who want the same roles. You know what I mean? And it makes sense. It's life. It's going to happen. As soon as Saphira told Mirage she could have the host, I was like, Mirage is done this week. Whenever whenever a girl gets the role that they want, that they're fighting for, and they suddenly back down from it, I was like, fuck, it's not gonna be a good week for Mirage. We'll get into it more. I will say, I don't think Mirage did bad hosting. Did she do great? No, but I mean, it could have been a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse on Drag Race, but excited to say that Plasma finally delivered what I wanted. I thought Plasma was so great this week. Spoiler, she won the week, so very much well deserved. But if you remember last week, I said I've been waiting for Plasma to give me that theater kid connection. As a theater kid, like I wanted to love her. I really wanted to love Plasma, but I just couldn't. There was something about her that was just like, ugh, rubbing me the wrong way. Finally, this week, it clicked. The bitch knocked it out of the park. So she originally didn't want to do the role of Barbara Streisand in her skit. And she said she loves Barbara so much that she would never want to do her. And God forbid she messes it up. Blah, blah, blah. We get it. You're gay. It was basically giving Rachel Berry. Like, watching Plasma's confessional when she was talking about Barbara Streisand, I was watching Leah Michelle walk down the William McKinley High School hallways as like an inner monologue. She was like holding her books against her chest. She like put a gold star on her name. Like if you're a Gleek, you know what I'm saying. And her talking about Barbara the way she did, I was like, yeah, this is literally Rachel Berry. But she knocked it out of the park. I was so happy with her performance in the skit. She did so good. But honestly, I was very happy with most of the girls this week. Q was great, Sapphira was great, Nymphia was great, Plain Jane was great. Even Megami, I didn't think Megami was bad at all, but I just think Plain Jane knocked that role out of the park. They were in the skit together, and I think Plain Jane just like took it to such a level that Megami was good, but it was just like, in comparison. Maya, it was like funny, but it wasn't funny. Does that make sense? Like I was like giggling, but I wasn't like living, like it wasn't, I don't know. Um, and then Geneva, it was like you could tell she didn't really know who she was playing. Like it just didn't click. She was just kind of like putting on a character to be funny, and it not that it wasn't funny, but it was just like I think they were supposed to be a little more pointed references in what she was doing. So I don't know. It was just that was like my take there. But I mean, the runway was Night of a Thousand Chairs. First and foremost, where is Chad Michaels? Like, are you kidding? They're gonna do this runway and not have Chad Michaels as a guest judge? Like, come on. But Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like a gaggy judge. It was very exciting, especially like for the gay community. It was like a win to have her as a Drag Race guest judge. So I can't complain. Cannot, if it wasn't Chad Michaels, I'm glad it was Sarah Michelle Gellar. But the runway, I really thought that the runway was really good. I honestly like, for the most part, all the girls really did deliver. I was very happy. So we start with Tsunami. She did, it was like the Prisoner album share. So she had like those crazy translucent wings, which were stunning. And she had like the tinsel wig with the tinsel dress, just gorgeous, stunning. Knowing her model background, like when she comes out on the runway and just like, I feel like she has like a presence about her that just like kind of captivates you, even through a camera. So loving Tsunami, she absolutely knocked it out of the park. Morphine, she was Oscar Cher, so she had the black lace look. Her makeup, my God, I will say it every week. Her makeup just is like so out of control. She knows how to beat her mug like no other. She is so stunning. And I thought her look was cute. I liked it. I thought it looked really good. It was a great reference. And yeah, no, literally no notes. Talking about notes, Maya. Maya, Iman. Okay. One thing about me, I am a burlesque stan through and through. Burlesque is one of my comfort movies, one of my favorite movies of all time. The soundtrack, everything. I love burlesque. Why, out of every Cher look you could have done, did you pick Cher on the burlesque promo tour? Like, Cher has so many looks, and you picked black leggings and a jean jacket. You could have even done a look from the movie, done the look from burlesque, her little corset tuxedo moment with the little hat. And you pick that, and like, you don't even do it right. It wasn't even good. Like, it just didn't look good. It wasn't right. It was like her interpretation of the outfit. It just like, what? It's Cher. And that's what you pick? I was pissed off. It genuinely annoyed me. Especially because, like, if you're gonna do something burlesque related, do a look from the movie, not her press tour looks. What? Anyway, moving on because I can't get into it. I will. Geneva Carr is next, and she did a Ringling Brothers Circus chair, which is the full red body look. I liked it. Thought it was good. It wasn't my favorite look of the night, but it was good. Definitely weird shaping. I feel like she could have like corseted a little bit more or done something more with the middle. When in Cher's outfit, I don't know if it was like a two-piece or like what, but there was like a middle, like a midriff area that like almost looked nude illusion, or maybe it was her like stomach out. I don't know, but it just like, I feel like there could have been more body to it, maybe, but I thought the detail was there. Like, I understood the reference. She looked good. She looked fine. I was okay with it. Now Mirage. she came out. Honestly, I don't remember what the reference was, but it was this like purple look, and immediately I understood why she did it because it was like a Vegas showgirl. So I love that it tied into Mirage. She's from Vegas. It tied into her like Vegas roots. She was able to kind of like show a little bit of like the showgirl side of her. The only thing I will say is like, I wish there was more to it. It looked gorgeous on her, the way she was like moving on the runway. It was like moving with her. Like it just looked great. It wasn't bad by all means, but I wanted it to be like more extravagant. I wanted it to be like more like va va voom. I don't know. Again, it was not bad by all means, but I wanted it to be a little bit more like oomph. But more about Mirage later on. Next we had Megami. I mean, she did the classic like turn back time rocker chick leather Cher look, which if you like, I feel like when you think of Cher, this is one of like the looks that you think of, and she looked really good. I really liked it. I thought she did a good job at getting the looks together. She had the reference was there that she looked good. I was very happy with Megami. Megami has been, I feel like, the past 2 weeks, like playing a very safe game. And I say that in the best way possible. I think playing a safe game is smart this early in the competition. You don't want to like overshoot yourself and then fall short later. You know what I mean? Like if you come onto the show and you win your first episode, you rank high your first episode, like obviously you're making a name for yourself and you're building a case, but like if you know that you have strengths and weaknesses and you're not going to be able to live on riding that high the entire competition, I don't blame a bitch for playing safe. Play safe, be, high safe, low safe, whatever you want to call it. They do that now, I guess. And just like skate by. And then when it is your week to shine, make it your week to shine because being in the background and then coming out and being like on top and showing like your true talent is where people are going to remember you from, I think. So I'm into this game that she's playing. I think she's doing a good job at being good, staying safe, and like doing her thing. Next up, we had Plain Jane. Now, this bitch, okay. She did the Met Gala look from 1974. The theme that year was the glamour of old Hollywood, which so when I was going through and like writing everything down, I was Googling the reference looks because I just wanted to see like what it was. And when I found out this was from the Met Gala, I was like, oh cool, let me just search the Met Gala 1974. I wanted to like get an idea. I didn't expect photos like we have now. Obviously, it was 1974, but there was obviously photos to reference. When you search Met Gala 1974, Cher is the first picture that comes up. I didn't know that was going to be the case, but I was like, oh, whoa, like Cher really is that bitch. So I thought she looked rich. She looked like old Hollywood. It looked just like her. Like it looked like the reference photo. The nude illusion was spot on. Like I said a few weeks ago, nothing drives me crazier than a nude illusion that is not nude. Doesn't look nude, doesn't look like it's your skin. Like it drives me crazy. My one gripe on the look is Cher's look. There was more body, like more leg. So like the feathers, it was like a kind of like a dress. It wasn't a gown necessarily, it was just like a dress. And the feathers were lower on Cher's look and not as thick. I think to kind of show off more of her like figure almost, or like just to kind of draw your attention down. It also kind of made her look taller. Plain Jane's feathers came up kind of high, like above her knee level, and Cher's were lower. So that was my only like I wish they were lower to match the reference more, but that is not to say that the dress wasn't gorgeous. She didn't look gorgeous. Like, she killed it. She looked fantastic. I absolutely loved the look. Just something I noticed looking at the photos side by side. A mandatory meeting, which before we get into a mandatory meeting, she did come out today as trans. And that's just, it's exciting. I love when somebody lives their truth. I love when they're able to be themselves. And I feel like usually a Ru girl comes out as trans after the season finishes airing. She just did it mid-season. I'm very happy for her, very excited. Good for you. I'm excited to see this transition for you and see like your story, continue and see you living your true self. So, yay, we love that. Congratulations, a mandatory meeting. But now about her look. So she did the Cher doll, and I think that's a smart idea, honestly. I think it's like a look that people might not expect, but it is like a very famous look, I guess. Like I'm not a doll person. I'm not even a big Cher person. Like I am, but I'm not. Like it's like I like Cher a lot and like I appreciate her, but like I'm not like a lot of these references I had to like look up and like make, get my notes together. I knew the Cher doll and she looked fine. Like she looked good. Her makeup, something I am very excited at. is happening is the fact that her makeup evolution is already getting better on the season from the first episode. Like she was, girl, like I said, a mandatory makeup lesson. And now she's like, even 4 episodes in, like I'm seeing some changes in her makeup. Her makeup now off the season is looking really good. Like she took the notes and she's going with it even earlier than the season ending. So claps to you. I'm really coming around to Amanda. I really like her as a person. Her drag just isn't, I need it to be a little more tight knit. I don't know, but that being said, this look, it was good. I really liked it. It just, I wanted it to be like the top was a little like weird. I don't know, the sizing felt weird to me. Like you could see underneath it a little bit and it just I don't know. Something about it was weird to me. Overall, it was a good look. Her makeup looked good. It was fine. Dawn. I love Dawn. I think Dawn is great. I think her drag is great. I've talked about her pretty much every week in the highest regards. And when I first saw this runway, I was like, wait, I love this. This is so fun. What she did was took a black and white photo of Cher from the 60s, I believe. And we don't know what color she was wearing, but black and white, you can tell when it's colorized. So she took her creative liberties and remade the dress exactly how Cher wore it, but added color to it. So she did blue, white, and orange. It looked red on camera, so it looked a little patriotic. And watching it back when I was like making my notes for the podcast, I was like, I actually don't know if I loved it as much as I did the first time. I feel like when you're watching Drag Race or really any TV, in the moment, you're just like, well, especially when it's someone that you've been rooting for, you're like, yes, yes, I love it. It looks great, da da da, whatever. Looking back at it, I don't know that I loved it. Was it bad? No, it wasn't bad. But I think it would have been cooler. And actually, I saw a clip. I didn't watch it yet, but the whole episode. But on the pit stop this week, I saw a clip, and Trixie said it would have looked cooler if she did the whole black and white. And I was like, no, I totally agree. I saw that after I had the thought, and I was like, my girl, Trixie gets me. Like, it would have been cool if she did a black and white look and painted her face white, did like a black wig, did like the dress black and white, and like really referenced the photo. I think that could have been so cool. But it is what it is. She looked good. She did the reveal. Her body looked insane. I was like, girl, my God, that waist. I was like, oh my God. She looked great. Like it was fine, but I definitely like it's interesting. In years past, like I watched an episode of Drag Race and it's in the past, it's behind me. Now doing this, I'm finding a lot, like I'm looking at the looks more, I'm looking at them a little differently, and it's like it's fun. It's cool. Like I feel like I've been like I could recite back this season already more than I can a lot of other seasons that I've watched because I'm paying more attention, I'm talking about it, I'm watching it multiple times, I'm writing about it, like I'm doing so much more with it. So it's cool as like a personal growth thing, I guess, to like see that I'm like more engaged in the things that I'm loving because I know I'm going to talk about them later. So just a little like self-improvement thing that I'm noticing. Moving on. And now these last four definitely three of the four, but one of them I'm very happy with. Q. Q, 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 Q. Oh my God. First and foremost, if this bitch doesn't win soon, I think she's gonna blow her casket, and so am I. Not only was she hilarious in the skit, her runways are just always it. Oh my God, it was a black and white Bob Mackie dress. Not sure exactly when Cher wore it, but it was this black and white, like zigzag stripe that met in the middle, and the headpiece was like these big black spikes. I've seen the look before, but I don't know exactly like the reference, but I'm sure like if you look at it, you'd be like, okay, I've seen that look on Cher. First and foremost, this bitch loves a headpiece, and so does Cher. So match made in heaven, and she just looks so right every week. Her makeup, her looks, and she makes her looks. Like that's what's so impressive to me about Q. Not only is she looking incredible, she's making the looks herself. Like there is something so admirable to me, the fact that she's doing all of this herself. Oh, I love her. She's a front runner for me. Oh, I also, listening back to the episode last week, I said I was going to tell you guys my top four, and I never did. So let's get through the rest of the list, and then I'll tell you guys who my top four is right now. Next up was Plasma. Was it the best look in the world? No. But after her skit and how good she was as Barbara, she looked good. She looked great. Like, I loved the dress. It was good. It wasn't my favorite runway of the night, but I think pairing that with her skit performance, chef's kiss. Again, spoiler, she wins the episode, but we'll get into that. But yeah, she was the 1985 Met Gala, which was Royal India. She looked really pretty. The dress, the reference was there. Yeah, I don't know, not mad about it, not like over the moon about it. She looked good, and I was so on like cloud nine after her performance in the skit that I was like, this is great. I loved it. Now next up, you guys know how I feel about Nymphia, and she just doesn't let me down. She came out as Cleopatra Cher, which again, just like a huge iconic Cher look. Everybody knows it. And she ate. She just devoured. She looked so good. Her makeup was right. The headpiece, the wings. I just love the bitch. She is so good. And she killed it. She knocked it out of the park. She is everything to me. I'm obsessed with her. And the final queen was Sapphira. She came out. She was Vegas Cher. Oh my God. Another very popular Cher look. If you look it up, you'll know it. She had like the blue dress with the spikes collar thing on her. She walked on the runway looking insane. She took the thing off. She looked even better. Like, I love her. She is so good at drag. She knows it, but she's not like she's cocky about it, but like she should be. You know what I'm saying? Like she is so good to the point where I'm like, you deserve to be cocky. Like you are chef's kiss, obsessed, just the bee's knees. And that was the runway. So before we go into how the episode played out, my top four is Nymphia, Q, Sapphira, and Dawn. Those are my top four. I think that's going to be the top four at the end. We will reference this when we get to the finale, but yeah, Nymphia, Q, Sapphira, and Dawn are my top four at the moment, and I am very content with that. I think that is a solid top four. Yeah. But as I said, Plasma did win the week, very much deserved. She knocked it out of the park in her skit. I absolutely loved it. And the bottom three is Maya, Geneva Carr, and Mirage. I understand the bottom three, but I don't understand the bottom two. The bottom two ends up being Geneva and Mirage. Maya should have been in the bottom two. Maya's runway and skip performance were so many levels lower than Mirage to me. I don't know. I don't know how Maya got through another week, but Mirage went home. Mirage, who has been like so fun, she's definitely a fan favorite. I mean, Twitter was up in arms. Do I think we need to like go up in arms and like go crazy every time someone we like goes home? No, but I understand because Mirage has become such a fan favorite. There's like over 1 million streams of her song for the talent show on Spotify. Like people are obsessed with her and I love her. I'm obsessed. I think she's great. I think she's a fabulous queen. But the way that she's only been on 3 episodes and has this fandemonium behind her, she's going to be just fine. Like she is going to excel so far outside of Drag Race and it was her time. It happened. But the fact that she went on that stage not knowing the words, that is a drag pet peeve of mine. I understand it is a lot of words, and when you're on Drag Race, there are so many other things that you're worried about than lip syncing. Well, that's not true, but there's so many things like going through your mind that like you're hoping you don't have to lip sync. But you can't be that cocky and not know the words. Like come on, she didn't know the words, and it's like not for nothing. Like lip syncing, you need to know the words. Your lips need to sync to the music in order to lip sync. And she didn't know any of the words. And Michelle at the end, oh my God, they finished the song and Michelle goes, not one word. You shady bitch, Michelle Passage. You rotted shady bitch. I gasped so loud when she said that. It was so fucking funny. But yeah, so they lip sync to Dark Lady by Cher. Mirage goes home. Very sad. It's sad. It sucks. We're at the point in the season where like people are going home every week. And as much as it's like, I was bitching and moaning about nobody going home 2 weeks in a row. Like, well, now Mirage went home, and I'm like, damn it, that sucks. But it is what it is. Mirage is going to be fine after Drag Race. I am not concerned. People are obsessed with her. She is already a fan favorite, so she will be good. I'm sad to see her go, but I'm so excited to see what she does off of the show. And that is Drag Race for the week. We have this week coming up. I don't remember exactly what the challenge was. It's slipping my mind. But the preview looked crazy because Amanda and Plain Jane get into it and she like flips out, calls her a cunt. Amanda calls Plain Jane a cunt. Like it looks juicy. So I'm very excited to see what unfolds this week on RuPaul's Drag Race season 16, episode 5. And some other TV news. We started the Traitors. Holy shit. So I've been seeing the Traitors all over the internet, and I actually wasn't going to start it. I didn't really have an interest. And then shout out to my old roommate, Allison. She texted me and told me, you need to start this show. Like, it is such good reality TV. And I was like, all right, you know what? You were the queen of reality TV. Allison and I lived together for, God, we lived together for 4 or 5 years. 2017, I want to say, until 2021. So yeah, like 4 years. And one thing about this girl is she loves her reality TV and she is so invested. So, and I know she does listen. So hi, Alice, and I'll stop talking about you now. But she texted me and said that we needed to watch it, and so we did, and we're obsessed. Holy shit, it is so good. So I'm not going to do a full recap of the season because it's still going on, and I think it's episode 5, but I'm loving it. It is so good. Essentially, if you don't know what it is and you're looking for something to watch, start this show. It is a bunch of reality TV stars put into a castle in Scotland, and they have to do these crazy challenges. And the point of the game is there are faithfuls and there are traitors. The traitors need to convince the faithfuls that they are all faithfuls. They have to like sway them and kind of convince them not to vote them out, like very mind game. And it's like people from Big Brother, Survivor, they had Peppermint from Drag Race, Real Housewives, they have a boxer. Like there's people from all walks of TV on this show. I really only knew one of them, which is Peppermint. I knew some of the housewives from like back in the day when I used to watch like Phaedra. Like I knew her, I knew of them, but like I don't keep up with any of them. The only one that I know well and keep up with is Peppermint. So I started it really not knowing anything, and you do not need to know these people from before the show, like what they were on before, because they just they go into this house or this castle and they are just on it from episode 1. It is such good TV. I am obsessed, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. It is so good. So if you're not watching The Traitors, get on it because I promise you will be entertained. It will keep you on the edge of your seat. It is phenomenal. It's literally the number one most watched unscripted reality TV show on Peacock, I think, like ever right now or something, like some crazy statistic like that. Like it is worth the hype. If you're thinking about starting it, start it now. It is so good. And that is the show. That is the end of our topics for the week. But obviously, you know the drill. If you are new here, before I end every show, we do my yes and my mess of the week. Yes is something I'm loving. Mess is something I am not loving. And we always start on the positive. So, my yes of the week. This past week, it's going to start a little weird, so stick with me. Justin Timberlake released his new single, Selfish. If you've listened to the podcast at all, I don't like Justin Timberlake. He's not for me, not my guy. I'm not going to go into it more than that. I don't need to give more explanation. I am a gay man who loves Britney Spears. You can understand why I don't like Justin Timberlake. I'm not here to bash Justin Timberlake. Again, what I'm here to do is talk about how fucking incredible the Britney Army is. Britney has a song on her Femme Fatale album, and it is called Selfish. It's literally a bonus track. Like, it's not even like a single. It was never anything more than just an album track. And the Britney Army decided, since Justin has Selfish coming out, and Britney has a song called Selfish, let's start streaming and buying Selfish. It went number 1 on iTunes. Do you know how hard it is to get a song to go number 1 on iTunes that probably had never even seen the iTunes chart other than like the week of the release? Now, I don't know like the chart data. I don't know but I can tell you right now, this song had never seen the iTunes top 100 chart. I can almost guarantee you, maybe top 50. The fact that they got this song to come from nowhere and go number 1 on iTunes over Justin Timberlake, fucking iconic. And then on top of that, by that Friday afternoon, Britney had the top 5 spots on the iTunes music video charts. 5 of them, not just 1, not 2, 5. 5 music videos. That means people were purchasing her music video. And it was like, Oops, I Did It Again, Baby One More Time, Toxic. It was old music videos. The Britney Army is insane in the best way possible. And I fucking love it. I had Femme Fatale, like I have the actual CD because I love Britney, but I didn't like own it on iTunes or anything because back when that came out, I was buying CDs and putting them on my iPod, on my phone. So like I have the album on my phone, of course, but I didn't like own it. So I bought it. I was part of it because I was like, I want to be part of this, like, this movement with Britney, just like standing behind her. I will say it's a little disappointing. She did make a post and say that she apologizes for everything she said about Justin Timberlake in her book. It's a little damper on the parade, but you know what? It's fine. She's turning over a new leaf, I guess. She's doing her thing. I'm still not a Justin Timberlake fan, and I never will be. So that's that. But Britney Army, you guys are insane. And I not that I'm not like a huge Britney fan, but like she's not so like I am not to the level that these people are at all. And I can admit that I love Britney. I've seen her live. Like, I've bought her albums. Like, I love, love, love Britney. Always have, always will. I came out of the womb with a snake around my neck. Like, I love Britney. I'm gay. I have to. But there's Britney Army out there that is like so many levels above me that like I understand like I can't touch where they're at. So to those people, I say thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing for Britney. Thank you for, letting us all kind of join this train with you. And yeah, just I love it. I love moments like this where fandoms come together and just like are like, let's do it. Like, let's make shit right for our girl. And it was just, I loved it, everything. And my mess of the week, I can't, I try to not make them from my stories, but it was just so bad this week that my mess is Nicki Minaj. What the fuck is going on in your head, girl? Like, you've got to get it together. You need to clean your shit up, go change your son's diaper, maybe take a 6-month hiatus from the internet, go rehearse for tour and figure your life out because like it's getting too much. It's just getting too much. And you can go back few episodes ago. I was talking so highly about Nicki, about Pink Friday 2, Gag City, how much I love the album, how much I love Nicki. I had a whole post when Pink Friday 2 came out. I made a whole carousel. I photoshopped myself into Gag City. I found old tweets of myself. Like, I am a Nicki stan, but girl, you're being messy, messy boots this week, and we gotta reel it in. We've gotta bring it in, take it down a notch, and just like go rehearse for tour. Go change your son's diaper and rehearse for tour. Please step off the internet. That's all I'm asking, Onika. And with that, that is the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for listening. We are available wherever you get your podcasts. So that's Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, I'm there. I actually just connected our podcast feed to YouTube. So if you're a YouTube watcher, you might see that I have the audio and the video up there. I just thought it'd be nice to give you guys the option if you don't use Spotify or something, like if you want to just listen to it 1 week and not stare at me for an hour. So audio and video is available on YouTube. I'm playing around with it. I might end up just switching back to video. I don't know. It's a learning curve for all of us, but audio is now also available on YouTube. That being said, we are available as a video podcast. So if you prefer that, head over to YouTube. We are at 2pop to handle. Make sure you subscribe, give us a like, comment on a video, send it to a friend, follow us on socials. We are at 2pop to handle on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I'm posting on it. You guys know I have a lot to say and I do not hold back. And with that, thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of 2pop to handle, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye.